Here's a collection of actual crimes committed by really dumb criminals. Just sit back and enjoy the insanity as we present. Stupid crime stories you just won't believe. In 2021, a Georgia man felt that gas prices were just too high and he shouldn't have to pay. He thought, why not steal gasoline from another vehicle? And since he wanted to fill up his Ford F-150 truck, he needed to steal a lot of gas. So he drove to a U-Haul rental location. After all, they have plenty of big trucks and they have to keep those tanks full. Once at the rental location, he drilled a hole in the gas tank of one of the trucks and filled up a 5-gallon container. Mission accomplished. However, as he left the lot, the U-Haul truck continued to leak gasoline from the hole he had just drilled. This resulted in a serious gas spill that required a quick response from the local fire department. Obviously, the man could care less about the gas leak. After all, he now had 5 gallons of free gasoline and no one saw him commit the crime. Cops then posted the following comment on their social media page. While we understand that there is a shortage on gas, we also want to remind everyone to exercise safety, patience, and common sense. The shortage is temporary and we anticipate the gas stations returning to full operations soon. In the meantime, remain calm and don't do anything to endanger yourself and others. And just to let him know that they were hot on his trail, they posted this direct message to the gas thief. So while you're creating a hazardous material spill for 5 gallons of gasoline and cause firefighters to have to work in the rain, we appreciate you parking your truck behind the KFC where we can obtain a photo of your getaway vehicle. Also, the shots of you walking around the U-Haul trucks are helpful. The guy probably experienced another leak after seeing this message. Only, this leak would have been in his pants because he was clearly busted. Even though the images police posted from the video were very grainy, someone recognized the truck and identified the suspect. The 25-year-old man was arrested and charged with criminal damage to property and theft. Let's see. Gas in that area was under $5 per gallon at the time. So we're talking less than $25 in savings. Just imagine how much those 5 gallons are costing him now. In 2019, a 29-year-old man was hired by Wells Fargo Bank to guard their cash vault at a branch in Charlotte, North Carolina. In his position, he had authorized access to the vault. Apparently, seeing all that money passing right in front of him was just too tempting to ignore. Because just 2 months after he was hired, he started stealing small amounts of cash from deposits made by bank customers stored in the vault. It started with just a few $100s. But once he saw how easy it was, his confidence grew, and so did his heist. Eventually, he was taking thousands of dollars without any fear of repercussions. In just a couple of months, he had taken about $19,000. He would deposit the cash using an ATM that was located near the bank he worked at. His deposits were mostly $50 and $100 bills. So already he's setting a pattern, which is a common criminal mistake. To cover his tracks, the man would destroy documents and rig the bank's books to cover up crime. His total take had reached $88,000 and he was using the money for his own personal expenses. You would think that a person like this would want to keep a very low profile. But this individual wanted to ride in style and impress his friends. So he made a $20,000 cash down payment, all in $100 bills, on a brand new Mercedes-Benz. He then obtained a loan from another bank by providing falsified bank statements. He is also said to have been an aspiring recording artist and regularly posted his activities on his Facebook and Instagram pages. And this is where it gets interesting. The man seemed to have no shame in posting pictures of himself posing with his newfound wealth. In fact, he did it quite often, even bragging about how easy he was making it look. All of this exposure certainly made it easier to catch him. It was later discovered that he also served in the U.S. Army. This may have aided him in getting hired as a bank guard. Apparently, he didn't realize that banks have to keep close watch on employees who handle the money. And it didn't take long for the bank to collect enough evidence against him. His social media posts were just icing on the cake. He was hired by Wells Fargo in April. By December, FBI agents arrested the dishonest bank guard in San Diego, California. He was charged with 2 counts of financial institution fraud, 19 counts of theft, embezzlement and misapplication, and 12 counts of making false entries, which carry a maximum penalty of 30 years in prison and a $1 million fine for each count. He was also charged with transactional money laundering, which carries a penalty of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. In 2021, police pulled over a suspicious vehicle driving along Interstate 295 in the state of Maine. Inside the car they found a man and woman. Upon searching the vehicle, they discovered packages of desserts. When they opened the wrappers, they saw some delicious-looking marble cakes. Sounds pretty innocent so far. But these cops were from the Drug Enforcement Agency and they were acting on information received from an anonymous tip. Also, their drug-sniffing canine indicated that these were not normal cakes. And it turns out they were right. The couple was actually carrying cocaine disguised as cake. It had been cleverly packaged with coffee grounds spread on top of the white cocaine block to make the package look like marble cakes. The strong coffee smell was intended to fool the drug-sniffing dogs. Clearly, it did not. But when you look at the pictures, you just can't help but marvel at the creativity of some of these drug smugglers. What will they think of next? Police recovered 4 pounds of the illegal drug with a total street value estimated at $200,000. They also found $1,900 in cash, which they believe came from drug sales. The man had already done time in 2015 on a heroin bust and he was the main target in the initial stop. Agents said that the cocaine likely entered the country wrapped in cake packaging, and that they will check with other departments to see if similar seizures have been made in order to determine its source. The suspects were taken to the county jail and charged with aggravated trafficking. The man's bail was set at $750,000 and the woman's was at $50,000. If convicted, they could face up to 20 years in prison. In 2020, a 20-year-old Tennessee man was already in court being charged with simple marijuana possession. But instead of just verbally stating his case in the courtroom, he decided to make a different kind of statement. As you will see in the video, he pulled out a marijuana cigarette and proceeded to fire it up and smoke it. Right in front of the judge.
Yes, sir. I think it's very unfair, the marijuana law here. I think we the people deserve better because marijuana is a very harmless drug and it's been around for ages, since the 80s and 90s.
I've heard that baloney all my life, so don't go any further on that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether it's good or bad. All I know is
Yes,
Tennessee still has it against the law. I swore to uphold the laws and I have to uphold the laws as a judge. It probably is unfair, but I can't change it. You've got to go see the legislature to get that changed.
Yes, sir.
And if you get it changed, I'll be happiest man in the world because I won't have to fool them. But right now, it's the law of Tennessee, and I have to enforce it. Now, if you want to plead guilty, you can today. But if you want a trial, we can give you a trial on the officer's date, which it's Officer Vincent.
Officer Vincent?
You want to fix the trial date?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be fun, and then you can make another speech. Vincent. May 7th. Yeah, call him. I can't give you the name of the man you really need to call, but there's somebody.
Hey! We the people deserve better.
Take him to jail. Take him to jail.
The man later stated, "I was trying to think how to get it in without getting caught. So I ended up taping it to my chest." He said his goal was to get more people talking about legalizing marijuana. Clearly, this stunt wasn't going to sway any opinions. You can clearly hear the judge tell him that he is wasting his time trying to convince the courts. A Wilson County sheriff said that it was one of the craziest things he had ever seen. The man was charged with disorderly conduct and another marijuana possession charge. He was also held in contempt of court and received 10 days behind bars. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Our weekly videos will feature such topics as stupid crime stories, classic TV, and the real stories behind popular songs from the past and present. There will be even more categories as we continue to grow.